very, very special New Brunswick Day ceremony. We are celebrating the 100th anniversary of Port Elgin, New Brunswick's first incorporated village. My name is Sharon Allen, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for this morning. If you are seated, please rise for the entrance of the Lieutenant Governor and remain standing for the singing of O Canada. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our must command. Cartambra se forte il se forte la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée et de brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you so much, ladies. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Honorable Brenda Murphy, Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick. Thank you very much, Sharon. MLA Megan Mitten, Mayor Jason Stokes, and Port Elgin councillors, les invités distingués, friends, chers amis, je suis très heureuse d'être parmi vous aujourd'hui pour célébrer la fête de Nouveau-Brunswick. I'll start by offering apologies for delaying your event. Andre, the driver, had made a recommendation which I didn't follow, but I will the next time, so it's my fault that we are late. But I am very, very pleased to be here with you to celebrate New Brunswick Day and to take part in officially opening your Platinum Jubilee Garden. As some of you would know, Linda and I had been here in Port Elgin just this past spring to mark the beginning of your centennial year. And at that time, I think I said that I found it remarkable that the Queen has been Canada's monarch for 70% of the time that your town has been incorporated. And I've had the delightful opportunity to enjoy several celebrations recognizing Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee in a number of places around our beautiful province. And I'm really so happy to see that you've incorporated a commemoration to the Queen as part of your New Brunswick Day celebration. Her dedication to the service of Canada, Great Britain, and the other Commonwealth countries is really, truly remarkable and admirable. And I thank the people of Portland for recognizing our Queen with a garden that will remain part of your community for years to come. There's so many places, lovely places, around our province that are going to be celebrating New Brunswick Day. And in my mind, where better to mark the day than in the province's first incorporated village in the year of its 100th anniversary. As a port of call, the village of Port Elgin has been welcoming newcomers to come and participate in growing our great province for hundreds of years, and you should be proud of your role in New Brunswick's history. I hope that you all have a fabulous day with family and friends, enjoying this beautiful weather and being part of this wonderful community. I thank you so much for the invitation to be here. Bonne fête de Nouveau Brunswick. Happy New Brunswick Day, and enjoy the rest of the day and your summer. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for those very kind words. I would now ask the Mayor of Port Elgin, Mr. Jason Stokes, to welcome us all to the village.
This will be short. I know there's a lot of people that have a lot more to say than I do, but again, I would like to welcome the Honorable Brenda Murphy. It's great that you could come again. It's nice to see you again. Past mayors, past councillors, present mayor, me, welcome me, Megan, and previous councillors, and most of all, members of the community, honored guests from other communities. It's great to see everybody here. I just want everybody to enjoy the day. Remember, there's lots to see along the river after everybody. I know everybody's going to announce there's like all these signs all over the river. Take them in, see part of the Port Elgin's history. There's a park over there with new signs. There's a park downtown with new signs. Wander through the town. There's going to be a farmer's market, and enjoy all the festivities. Welcome everybody, and I'll let you get on with the show.
Thank you very much, Jason. Please help me welcome our local MLA, representing Memramcook-Tantramar, Megan Mitten.
Oui, bonjour, hello. Welcome once again to Port Elgin, to the Honorable Brenda Murphy. And greetings to the current mayor, as well as past mayors, current and past councils, as well as I want to say a special hello to the organizing committee who has brought us all together today and have done a fabulous job working hard for a long time to pull this together. And every community member who has come out today to celebrate 100 years of Port Elgin being an incorporated village. It's really, we're living in such a special part of the province, and I think this is such a special community. We have really hardworking, caring, innovative community members, and one of the first things that I think of when I think of Port Elgin is the contributions that every person I know from this area makes. And when I say this area, Port Elgin, I guess some might use the term straight shores for this area now. Port Elgin is made up of the people who live here and the people who live around it. And I think that's what makes it so special, is that people around it are contributing as well. Alors c'est un honneur d'être ici aujourd'hui à Port Elgin pour réfléchir à l'histoire et à marquer le centenaire. And as we mark the centenary, I also want to acknowledge we're on the unceded land of the Mi'kmaq people, and they were here before people came from Europe. And I also want to note that today is the first Emancipation Day, and being marked in New Brunswick, and it happens to fall on New Brunswick Day. So today we're recognizing a lot of different pieces of history, and Emancipation Day marks the anniversary of Britain's Parliament abolishing slavery in the British Empire in 1834. And so as we look back on different parts of our history and ways that we can work on reconciliation, that we can build and improve our communities, we can also look at what's so special about our communities. And when I think of Port Elgin, like I said, I really think of the people who live here and all that you do to make this such a special place. So whether you volunteer with PEDVAC, or you work, or you attend school down the road, whether you live or work in the Westford, whether you have run a business here, you have contributed so much to this community. So I want to not speak much longer because I know we have some unveilings to do, and I wanted to say one thing though. I was just mentioning earlier, I used to sing in a choir when I was younger, and I think it's so special that there's a choir here today bringing your voices together to celebrate. So I won't get in the way of their singing and the unveilings, but thank you to everyone for being here today. Merci pour être ici. Passez une bonne été. Have a beautiful summer. Thank you. Merci. Wulaliok.
Merci beaucoup, Megan. Stacy Jones grew up in Port Elgin, and after several years away has moved back to the village and has become very involved in the community. She would like to share some reflections on her hometown. Please help us welcome Stacy.
Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Stacy Jones. I am one of the village councilors and a lifelong member of the community. It's an honor to be speaking with you today in celebration of our 100-year anniversary. Growing up in the community has left me with some cherished memories, and I would like to share some of these memories with you. Looking out over the Gaspeau River today, things have changed a lot since the 80s. In my early years, at only 4 or 5 years old, I can remember the railway system, and I will forever remember the sound of the horns as a train blew through the railway lines of the village. As a child, it seemed so loud and was not something a child considered significant. I would plug my ears, waiting for the sound to fade out in the distance of the train, not knowing that in the near future, the railway system in our community and many others would cease to exist. In the middle of the village stood the old Strathconia Hotel, where travelers from all over the world stayed. It was later used as the pool hall, where the young people of the community would be found. Next door was the Stedman store, where you could buy your basic everyday needs. Funny story, I don't remember who was hired for the job, but I sure remember the outcome. They painted the building white and unknowingly used water-based paint on the beautiful sunshiny morning. As all of you know, maritime weather is vastly unpredictable, and sure enough, it rained that afternoon. Across the street, looking down from the picture window of the apartment where I lived above Joe the Barber's, the street and sidewalks were, you guessed it, pure white. That freshly painted Stedman store was back to its original faded glory, and I can only imagine the tongue lashing that person or persons received after that ordeal. Although the landscape of our great community has changed, we are so very fortunate to still have a community that pulls together. The feeling that comes with growing up in Port Elgin is hard to explain to people that didn't get to experience it for themselves. It's like having a huge crazy family. Some get along, some don't. Some drive you crazy. Others are only seen and not heard. Some are seen and heard, sometimes too often. But no matter our differences, we always find a way to come together as a community. We have demonstrated this in times of great loss and tragedy, and also in times of need. When one person hurts, the community hurts. But when one person succeeds, the community rallies. Nothing can stand in the way when the community puts its mind to it. When one of our own is in need, Port Elgin finds a way to support them. No need is too big or too small. When you have kids, there are many times you hear the saying, it takes a village. In the case of Port Elgin, this couldn't be more true. It's your village and the village of anyone that calls it home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I do remember that Stedman store. As you may have noticed, noticed, there has been a lot going on in Port Elgin over the past several months. One of the many activities I'm referring to is the creation of the Port Elgin Singers, a women's choir led by Lara McMillan. They have prepared a musical selection for our enjoyment. I will turn it over to you, Lara, and ladies.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, don't you wanna go down? Oh, mothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. I'll be there when love has flown. I'll be your strength. I'll keep holding on. Let me fill your heart with joy and laughter. Togetherness is all I'm after. Where there is need, I'll be there. When the waves roll on over the waters and the ocean cries, we look to our sons and daughters to explain our lives, as if a child could tell us why. That as sure as the sunrise, as sure as the sea, as sure as the wind in the trees, we rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our song. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. And then we rise again. When the light goes dark with the forces of creation across a stormy sky, we look to reincarnation to explain our lives, as if a child could tell us why. That as sure as the sunrise, as sure as the sea, as sure as the wind in the trees, we rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our song. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. And then we rise again. We rise again in the faces of our children. We rise again in the voices of our song. We rise again in the waves out on the ocean. And then we rise again. And then we rise again.
Thank you very much, ladies. I so much enjoyed listening to your beautiful voices, as everyone else here today, I'm sure, enjoyed as well. Along with other funding, the village was also awarded a grant from Heritage Canada under the Celebration and Commemoration Program 2022 Platinum Jubilee of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II component. As the Honorable Brenda Murphy referred to earlier, we have created this lovely lovely garden beds. Those funds, along with some other funds, were used for the creation of the very picturesque garden beds, which will only become more lovely as they mature. The plaques recognizing the celebration of the Queen's Jubilee are mounted on beautiful heron sculptures created by local blacksmith David Blackwell. David's grandfather was also a blacksmith, and we are so pleased that he followed in his grandfather's footsteps. He's going to be demonstrating some of his blacksmithing skills later on today at Art Along the River. More about that later on. I would ask Terry Murphy, past District Commander, Zone 4, Royal Canadian Legion, and a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces with 40 years of military and civilian service, to provide us with some comments on the Queen's Jubilee Garden.
Thank you, everyone. Having grown up in this village. Thank you, everyone. Having grown up in this village, we moved here with our family in 1951. It's been quite a ride through the years. From being here, leaving here, traveling through Europe and coming back here, I'm proud to be a member of the village of Port Elgin. Her honors, on behalf of the village council, the people of Port Elgin, and myself, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule for coming to celebrate not only our 100th anniversary, but also the Commander-in-Chief of our Armed Forces, Queen Elizabeth II, 70th Jubilee. So thank you for coming here today, and these people are very fortunate they have some Murphys around to look after.
Yes, we have heard that name Murphy more than once. Ladies and gentlemen, you have likely noticed the kiosks that are here in Blue Heron Park. There are also kiosks placed at Centennial Park and the Honorable Fred McGee Park off of Station Street. These kiosks commemorate various parts of the history of Port Elgin and are placed so that we can share our rich heritage with members of our community and visitors alike. The Heritage Committee, which worked on creating these panels, faced a huge challenge. The challenge wasn't in finding information to include. The challenge was in deciding what to leave out. Port Elgin has a very rich and diverse history, one that we can all be very proud of. The Heritage Subcommittee, and I'm going to ask them to stand as I call their names, so we can give them a round of applause for all their hard work, include Robert and Angela McLeod, Holly Chapman, Joan LeBlanc, and as Jason Stokes said, me! Thank you so much. And I would be remiss if I did not give some special credit and express sincere gratitude to Joan LeBlanc. Joan is a local historian who shared her knowledge, pictures, her writing skills, contributing greatly to the creation of these quality pieces. Thank you very much, Joan. Our Centennial Committee is led by Village Councillor Jan LeBlanc. Sorry, I'm renaming you, Jan. Jan Legier. And again, includes Robert and Angela McLeod, Holly Allward, Randy Trenham, Don Lockhart, please stand, Lara McMillan, and again, myself. Thank you, everyone, for all of your hard work. These are the people who have made all of our celebrations such a success. There are so many others who have helped out along the way. If I attempted to name them all, I know I would forget someone. You know who you are. Please know that your contributions are greatly appreciated. How about a hand for all the people that have helped in the background? It was our intention to have past mayors along with the current mayor, Mr. Stokes, to do the unveiling. Unfortunately, past Mayor Elaine Smith is unable to attend today. At this time, I would ask past mayors of Port Elgin, Courtney Wall and Judy Scott, along with present mayor Jason Stokes and Jan Legier, as the leader of our committee and as a councillor for Port Elgin, to come forward and do the honors of unveiling what we chose to be a lasting monument marking this milestone of the village of Port Elgin. This monument depicting our iconic slab bridge will stand to commemorate Port Elgin Centennial for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the kiosk, this monument, all the other pieces that are part of Port Elgin Centennial celebrations have been made possible by the very generous support of many community sponsors and by grants received from the Government of Canada under the Building Communities through Arts and Heritage Program, Community Anniversaries component, and Building Communities through Arts and Heritage Legacy Fund. A generous community and grants such as these are so important and greatly appreciated. The rest of today is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. When we're finished here, please make your way to Centennial Park on Shimagui Road for a community barbecue, which will run from 12 to 1:30. Have a burger or a dog and a piece of cake on us. You'll find a Centennial booth at the Centennial Park where you can pick up some memorabilia and get a copy of the program for Art Along the River, which starts at 1. We have, I believe we were supposed to have 16, but one individual has COVID, unfortunately, so won't be there. So it's 14 or 15 different artists and artisans are showcasing their skills. We have, as I mentioned earlier, a blacksmith, there's a fiber artist, painters, a soap maker, much, much more. Some will even show you how they create their crafts. There's also going to be a petting zoo and pony rides. A Port Elgin fire truck will be in town where the young and young at heart can touch a truck. And in Centennial Park, I invite you to go on a storybook walk. Across the street, just behind what we keep calling the old post office, there is going to be a farmer's market from 1 to 4 this afternoon. You're also going to be able to get some ice cream at the very front of that building as well. There's is it the Baby Elephant Ice Cream Bar? It's just getting underway. Music will be playing downtown all afternoon, courtesy of David Reed. David grew up here in Port Elgin. Some of you may remember Reed's Restaurant. Don't tell anyone, but that's where I got my first pack of cigarettes. So please drop by and say hello to David as you wander around the village today. There are more events going on in Port Elgin in the coming months. Please make sure that you check out the Port Elgin events page or the Port Elgin Centennial Committee page on Facebook to keep track of what is coming next. I invite you all to learn more about the history of Port Elgin. A great starting point are the kiosks. From there, you may want to visit the museum on Spring Street. Again, Port Elgin has such a tremendous history. For one thing, did you know that Port Elgin is the only place in New Brunswick that has port in its name? I guess that means there must have been a lot of ships that used to come in here, right? And thank you all for joining us this morning as we celebrate this very special milestone. With the upcoming changes to municipalities here in New Brunswick, Port Elgin will have the distinction of being the only village in the province to ever reach the 100-year mark. You can say you were here to mark the occasion. After we conclude this ceremony in a few minutes, I will ask our visiting dignitaries and our committee members to please remain for photos. Thank you very much. If you are seated, I will ask you to rise for the departure of our Lieutenant Governor and the singing of God Save the Queen.